Hello friends, I'm Chi. Guys, listen to the story first, then later I will summarize after the video, the end of the matter.
Good morning. Clayton here, cyber prophet, dedicated to the emancipation of men from verbal, psychological, and mental abuse. Red pill enthusiast and interested in the well-being of men's spiritual well-being too. So we first of all will talk about this individual here. This individual. His name was Ikenna Erine, and Ikenna Erine was a cardiologist. He died on the 26th of January this year by suicide after he went to court and they awarded his ex-wife $15,000 a month in child support. There are thousands of cases like this that is happening around the United States and even in Europe, where men are being destroyed by the system on behalf of African women. And this is a classical example. He killed himself actually. He actually shot himself to death by suicide on the 26th of January, 2025, a cardiologist. You would think and wonder, well, why did he have to do that? Well, he spent thousands of dollars in legal fees, wasted money, thousands. I mean, I'm talking about a process that impoverishes you. In the end of the story, you go to court, they take all your money. They're going to award the house, of course, to the woman with the children, and they're going to restrict your access to the children. You can only see them every Wednesday, every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, or maybe once a month, as the case may be. Meanwhile, the woman has no respect for you. She's assaulting you. Her whole mission is to bring you down because you're a cardiologist, and that's the only way she can get even with you. You understand? A lot of people don't understand what's going on in this story or what is going on in this country when it comes to African men. And I'm sure in my last video, you guys were like, he's mad. You understand? So his family has released his obituary. And it's very sad. It's very, very sad. But I can tell you that a lot of men have either had to, when I tell you the stories that men run to Mexico to use the Mexican embassy to escape back to Nigeria, or some run to Canada. I know about 3 or 4 men who ran all the way back to Canada. Or if I'm telling you the story about the ideology that men have stayed in this country and have been rendered useless, 200,000, 300,000, 150,000 monies put on their head by African women. The African women come out on TikTok, Facebook with pictures of them and only the children smiling with the house they took from the man and everything. And there are men who are supporting them. And again, in this whole story, for example, this cardiologist, a guy like this guy, Ikenna, you will hear in the church how they will blame the men. They will blame the man on that it has to be something he did, that women only react to what men do, that they don't have their own behavioral patterns, that they don't have their own emotional ways of interacting with people. In fact, that women copy men. That a fully grown woman at 40 is reacting to what a man did to her. She doesn't have her own plans, her own agenda. She doesn't have, that's what they're saying in the church now, because the pastors want to be sexually attractive, sexually, not only just sexually, but psychologically and character-wise want to be a hero for the women in the church. So the church is no more a place where the gospel of God is being told to the women in truth. It's a place where pastor has to showcase himself as the only viable alpha male, as the only viable man, as the most attractive, like a hero. A hero is the only place where a loser, because a lot of them are losers, because I don't know why you have to come up to show a whole congregation you're a hero by preaching the wrong thing to them. But they come out to become heroes in front of the women and to show how virtuous they are. So they're going to tell the women that no, when you picked up the knife, it's because of something the man must have said or must have done, that you cannot have your own plans of evil. The Bible says that the heart of man is exceedingly wicked and exceedingly scheming and always planning evil. But I think that verse was only for the men, right? Right. So, but however, Ikenna Erine is dead. He lost his license in cardiology, of course, through this case. Plus, they slammed on him $15,000 a month, plus restricted access to his children. And the cardiologist, in the end, committed suicide. Handsome young man. And you would think that because I came out and did that video, oh, that's Clayton, he's mad. Like they said, I'm mental. No, there are thousands of African men, hundreds, who have died in the last 10 years because of this situation. When let me give you just a kind of like a little, like, when I had my own divorce, my ex went from, when you're in IT, you have what is called a recruiter. And the recruiter is the one who helps you to connect you with the companies. She went to each recruiter, reporting me to each of my recruiters, and then turned around and went to those recruiters and claimed that she had finished her whatever courses in IT. By the time I picked up the phone to call recruiters to get a job, they refused to work with me, or they'll tell me that they are now signed her up. And since there is a divorce between the two of us, there's a clash of and I'll be like, but I was working with you guys first. They say, oh no, it's okay, because she went around telling lies. Because what they do, they'll lie that they've slapped them, that there's been verbal abuse, that there's been physical abuse. They have to lie because they know what they're doing. A lot of them, the problem is they have to become you or greater than you. And so my advice to men, and I have to warn men, is be careful who you are walking around. These women that you see walking around here, a lot of them are demonically possessed. They like you for now, that you're driving in a car, you have this money on everything. But once you bring them into the house, they want to take everything you have. These are black widow spiders. They want to take and become you. And so you're going over in front of a woman trying to prove to a woman that, hey, I'm an engineer, or I'm a medical doctor, or a cardiologist, or I'm this, or I'm that. In her mind, she's trying to climb up to get out of the poverty that she had in Ghana, or the poverty that she had in Nigeria, or the poverty she had in Kenya. So she plays along like a snake, like a cobra with you. She's going to take everything from you, from your house to your children. These people, a lot of men nowadays, the mothers, when you see all these girls on the internet insulting men and doing all the things, the mothers are the ones who've engineered them. They're going to take your children from you. They're going to turn your children against you. The number of men in the United States, in the African community, that the women have turned their children against the men, secretly or openly. They're going to turn the children against you. They're going to take your house from you. They're going to take everything away from you. If they could even actually become you and get rid of you, they will do so. Most of you men that are inside a marriage, even though you won't say it and you won't open your mouth, have been reduced to nothing. You are submissive, and even being submissive is not enough. Did Ikenna stand a chance? No, he did not. He didn't stand a chance, because even if he didn't kill himself and he had decided to like stay along and just continue this war, of which the woman continues fight, she has to subdue you. You've become her focal point. You're a cardiologist and you're a medical doctor, and you're showing off. In her mind, you're showing off. You refuse to be submissive. You've refused to be. A lot of the women that you see with the showdowns here, the showdowns in the American court, is the idea that they have to defeat you. Suddenly, it's like a demonic thing. You came to marry them, but suddenly they have to defeat you and make you submissive. That's the spirit reigning here. The church I attended in 2024, that's the spirit reigning in the whole church. The men must be submissive. If not so, they destroy you. And so in that kind of a thing, you are going to pick up somebody and the person pretends like, oh yeah, I love you. No, they don't love you. They want what you have. They want your money. They want your possessions. They want everything. Just look at this young man. Look at this handsome young man. Do you know what it means to be a cardiologist? There was laws that were passed here in the United States, and the laws that were passed was that you cannot bring your degrees from Nigeria to start here anymore. So it means that he spent 8 years here. You have to have your 4-year degree first, and then you now go in for your 4 years of your medical degree. And then you now start your residency. As a cardiologist, your residency can last up to God knows how many years you will sit inside there as a cardiologist before you come out. During your residency, you really don't make any money. You really don't make much. You could be in residency for 8 to 9 to 10 years for cardiology. Depending on what specialty you're going into, depends on how many years. So you spend an average, before you really could settle down, minus your student loans and everything, it takes at least 2 decades, a decade to 2 decades, 10 to 20 years for you to really settle down. So you finish early, and then a woman will just come in and pretend like she loves you, that she likes you. And then she tries to see how far she can go with you. And then when she discovers that this is where you caught, because in the end, you refuse to empty everything in your bank account and hand it over to her. She came to take everything you have. Men need to be very careful in 2025. They're coming to take everything that you have, and you refuse to relinquish everything. And in their mind, you're supposed to serve. I remember one day I was sitting down, I was talking to a lady, and she was telling me that my husband allows me to rest in my femininity. And I was like, how does he allow you to rest in your femininity? And she says, he does all the dishes, he washes all the plates, he cooks all the food, he does everything. Her job is to work, make money, make her nails, make her hair, and look cute and go to the gym. I said, okay. So I thought your femininity is part of it, is you cooking for your husband and being happy to be a housewife. She said, no. So what's his masculinity? The new masculinity is to do the role of the woman. That's the new masculinity. He's doing everything the woman should do. You do it while the women don't do anything. So they rest in their femininity, while you are the higher level of masculinity, which is cooking, taking care of the children, doing everything, and then also keeping your job. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And these are African women that are thinking like this over here. They come home during dirty December without a husband. They're 40 years old with the 4 children. Do you ever ask them where the father is? Do any of you that you're seeing them on Instagram and Facebook doing great celebration after they destroyed the man, do you ever ask them where the father is, and they make sure that the father's picture is not in anything, or you don't see any pictures of the children with the father, because according to them, they divorced the man? But the divorce, if you check the divorce very well, is them usurping the man. They have to take over everything and get him out of the picture. Take over. I'm talking about demonic behavior. It's not like they were physically abused or verbally. It's like they needed to take control, and he refused, like Ikenna, a cardiologist. She wanted control. She wanted to take over everything. If possible, she herself, like in my own case that happened, must also try and become IT like you and get you out. Get rid of everything. Take over your recruiters. Take over even your business contacts. Take over your friends, everything. And even your friends at that point won't see, is there something unnatural about this? We've known the man longer than the woman. So why is she trying to take over everything around him? I'm talking about demonic things that is happening. So much so, anyway, that Ikenna is dead. Dr. Ikenna, and he's going to be buried. He killed himself. $12,000 a month to a woman who is at that. I can tell you that why, and it has lasted for, they've been in court for years, running, wasted money on lawyers. The America that you came to have a life, wasted money, a large amounts of money on lawyers. Large amounts, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on lawyers. Plus, in the end of it, the woman is insulting you on the phone, doing all kinds of things, gone and got her house and everything. She finally won the case. $12,000 a month, plus restriction on seeing the children. Plus he loses his medical license and so many other things destroyed. Plus the other side I didn't tell you is all African women will gang up against you. One African woman came to me when I had my own issues and told me to my face that, oh, she won. They don't see it like, you, the woman, why are you doing this to your husband? Why are you starting this? What kind of demonic behavior is this? Stop what you're doing. She won. So it becomes like when it starts, everybody steps back to watch a wrestling match, a battle between a man and a demonic woman, someone who just starts anything for any. And the church has created a narrative that women won't start. No, it has to be the man's fault. It always has to be something that he did. The church, like the kind I went to last year, the women are innocent, angelic beings that are incapable of sin and incapable of planning or scheming or starting anything. They're incapable of drama, that they come pure and completely clean. And that the problem we are having in today's world is what men did to them that is making them do what they do, including the cases of men like this, Ikenna, Dr. Ikenna. Whatever is made the case, you guys at least know what the argument, because people think that in my last video I was crazy. Well, I've brought forward this video to this example. This happened about 4 days ago. He shot himself to death. He's dead. He's gone. A cardiologist. Waste of life because of a woman in America. It's happening all over. A lot have come home. They went back to Nigeria and died in Nigeria. And the woman's here, picked the house, took the children. The one that is more interesting is they take the children. They act like the children belongs to them. No, and nobody ever stops them to ask them, where is the father? Have you been allowing these children to speak? No, no. Even men are moving into, those are the ones we invite for parties. Invite them to your house to enjoy yourself or come and spend vacation. Those are the ones that we invite. Send ticket to them to come over, fly over and come and be with you. Let them be with you and do everything with you. Those are the ones. These are the reigning women. That's what's reigning now over here. And so, see? Nobody thinks about the idea of a cardiologist laid out in a coffin because of a woman. A cardiologist laid out in a coffin because of an African woman. Cardiologist laid out in a coffin. Nobody thinks about that. Nobody thinks, men are just they're indispensable. They're expendable in the United States. If you can chase him to death. And the other one I wanted to talk about, that's the last thing I'm talking about. The increasing high number of men that everywhere they're going, the word of knowledge is that she also went and called Babalawo, me included. They called Babalawo, they took your picture, put it inside a coffin and buried it in the ground. Saying, so it's like there's this strange thing going on. The divorce is not enough. Okay, he wasn't submissive to you. He refused to submit to you. When you talk, he used to talk back. He wasn't submissive to you. He didn't submit to you, and plus he didn't hand over everything, including his wealth and his degrees, to you. Okay, so you left him and you went to court. Isn't that enough? Why do you go to Babylon and say that may he never rise up again? May he never rise up again because he didn't do your bidding. May he never ever in his lifetime rise up again. You take his picture and put inside a coffin and bury it in the ground in Ghana or Nigeria, or you take his picture and throw into it and throw it into the ocean. You go around. A very close friend of mine, his own was, he put the recorder under her car seat. She's sitting in the car telling Babalawo what to do to him. Another friend of mine over in California, Babalawo, what's this Babalawo? What's the new thing? You're taking men's names to Dibia to destroy their lives because they were not submissive to you. Okay, they've left you now. You can follow the white man you want to follow, or find the white man, because they say white men are the reigning thing now. Whatever you say, they'll say, yes, ma'am. Yes, they submit to their women. Okay, fine. Follow the white man. Now, what is the idea of the one that you've left also? You want to make sure that he never ever succeeds in life. But you are also going to file in court that he should pay you child support of at least $7,000. But you want him to make sure you've told the DBA that he should not have a job so that he can be destroyed. He shouldn't have a job. He shouldn't have a life, and make sure he doesn't remarry. Anything that will bring help to him, they should block it, but he should pay $8,000 to you. I'm talking about what is going on including everywhere. That is what the women are doing now. And I'm trying to understand this, like this Ikenna side. That's why I think sometimes, like the case of this, and I'm sorry to say, but it looks like his dying is even better, because maybe if he stayed alive, the woman would take him to Dibia. She would take him to Babalawo. They know they waste time now and go and tell Babalawo that he should not be allowed to be successful in his doctorate career, that everything that can go wrong, let it go wrong. Plus, he should pay her the $12,000 so that she can turn around and laugh. They say it's all about like this. There's this psychology of that I won, winning. Someone that you married. The psychology now is about winning. You win him, you won him, you defeated him. Someone that you might have had children with. May God be with us, men, in 2025, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, according to the other side of the story, they said that he held the wife and the children, equally the house girl, at gunpoint in the house. And then the house girl managed to escape and then called the police. And then the police come into the house. Then the guy heard the siren of the police and then shot himself, like he committed suicide. He shot himself because according to the law he could have been bargained life in prison or 25 years to 30 years in prison. So I believe he doesn't want to fall into that, that side where he will end the rest of his life in jail or 30 25 years. So he died himself, which is so painful. Very young guy, 36, cardiologist. He lost his license. I wonder, that money is too big, man. $15,000. How can he cope? Where is the job? There's no license anymore, and definitely he's gonna move out of the house. So I think the guy was, in a deep shit, like he doesn't know where to start from. So the best he could do is to take his life. You see, that's why they tell African men when you come abroad, please leave your traditional African man style, leave those your African man character back, leave those character, keep them aside. When you come abroad, behave like a civil man, like a white man, respect your wife because action and reaction are equal and opposite. When you hear the other side of the story from the girl, then you'll understand why they went for that divorce because who will want to live a sweet marriage? If a marriage is very sweet, women will hardly want to leave. So something could have triggered. Maybe unresolved cases for many years could have boiled down to this level. But to me, he went too far by taking his own life. It doesn't make sense to me at all. He would have, you know, figured out how to kickstart his life again, where to start from, instead of this one is too bad, it's too bad. What? But well, we can just say rest in peace, you know. So everybody's expecting to hear from the wife to know what happened, why to this extent. And I think they could have talked about it. He could have talked to the woman and say, hey, I can't pay this amount. Please pity me. I'll pretend I gave it to you, but please can you return some back to me? And the lady could have agreed. I don't know. So, well, it has happened. It has happened. I don't think the friends did a good job. They should have advised him not to do anything crazy. That life goes on. Where there's a falling, there's also a lifting. Shouldn't have given up on himself, you know. I know he was shattered, traumatized, confused because he was not given access to the children. The lady had a full custody. So it's like he has lost everything. What kind of life is this? Woman he married have wrecked him. Well, many people are bashing African ladies, saying that they are good in all these things. Well, I don't know. So you tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Bye bye. I am Chi.